We are the anchors of Queer News Tonight, and this evening we discuss the queer headlines. Russian editor says animal sexuality book censored under LGBT propaganda laws for neutrally documenting widespread same-sex behavior in animals worldwide.
Grindr is testing a $500 AI-powered Edge subscription, adding personalized recommendations, conversation recaps, and compatibility insights. But people are skeptical.
Team LGBTQ+ shines at 2026 Winter Olympics as Breezy Johnson and Amber Glenn win gold amid record-out athletic participation.
Human Rights Watch warns that U.S. policies under Trump weaken human rights, intensifying attacks on LGBTQ+, especially transgender people, and democracy.
New Hampshire Governor Kelly Ayotte vetoed a GOP anti-trans bill safeguarding non-discrimination protections and blocking efforts restricting transgender rights statewide. All this important LGBTQ+ news and more this evening on Queer News Tonight. Welcome to Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only LGBTQ daily news television show, broadcasting live and available on demand on your favorite streaming channels.
Analytics company vidIQ has certified that Queer News Tonight YouTube channel as the world's most popular LGBTQ streaming news show. Our queer stories have reached over 11 million views.
We are proud that Queer News Tonight has more YouTube subscribers than any other LGBTQ brand in Florida.
We thank you for watching and supporting our voice and our rainbow family. There is no other news program in the LGBTQ world like Queer News Tonight.
It is Tuesday, February 10th. We are live and literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we will tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
You're watching Queer News Tonight, the world's first daily LGBTQ evening news show.
Welcome to the world's most important LGBTQ evening news show.
Hotspots magazine, Happening Out television network, is a nonprofit 501c3 media company in the same model as PBS and NPR, but created for the LGBTQ community. Our nonprofit mission is to support the 11 pillars of our community. We want to inform and educate the key issues of lesbian, trans, Latino, Black, healthcare, seniors, students, faith, social justice, business, and queer culture. Help us support our diverse community.
We are part of one of the largest LGBTQ nonprofit media companies in America, Hotspots magazine and Happening Out television network. Hotspots Happening Out is a proud beneficiary of the 2026 Florida AIDS Walk, standing strong by our healthcare pillar. Funds raised are matched dollar for dollar in support of our HIV policy reform and educational programs, including our MSM conference. We invite you to donate and join us on March 21st to walk in support of the Hotspots Happening Out teams.
In 2026, our magazine is celebrating 41 years of the LGBTQ experience, and Queer News Tonight is celebrating our 5th anniversary with more than 11,000 LGBTQ television stories. We present South Florida's major LGBTQ events, including Pride Fort Lauderdale, Stonewall Pride, and Pride Fest. Our magazine, events, television news, talk, and entertainment shows support our mission to educate the LGBTQ and broader community.
In 2026, more than 100 community leaders will sit at this table and share their voices as our anchors. Together, we host this show to support the LGBTQ community. Let's meet this evening's anchors at Queer News Tonight. Let's welcome anchor Robert Kesten. Robert believes in universal human rights and has dedicated crucial years of his life to the integration of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights around the world. He conceptualized the UN Decade of Human Rights Education and is now the president of Stonewall National Museum, Archives, and Library. Welcome to the show, Robert.
Good afternoon. I'm here to talk about our gala, the Stonewall Gala, which will take place February 21st here in Fort Lauderdale. And we're honoring John Stryker of one of the biggest foundations in our community, the Arcus Foundation, Janice Ian, the 2-time Grammy winner, singer-songwriter, and of course Barney Frank, the former congressman, and the first LGBTQ person to marry someone of the same sex while serving in Congress. So they are a really unique group of people, and we're very excited about this event because it does everything that we do as an organization, tying history into today's world and with people who still have a deep impact on everything that goes on around us. So I'm glad to have the opportunity, and please go online at stonewall-museum.org and buy your tickets. There are a few left.
Well, that sounds amazing. Those are icons. I mean, I knew all of those people. There were no people so young that I didn't know who they were. I knew every person and I've admired all of them. So that's amazing, especially Barney Frank, that they're all going to be together.
Yes, and they'll all become part of our nationally traveling exhibit, Standing on the Shoulders of Heroes. So they will travel, we expect, to another 100 cities over the next 2 years.
Exciting, and a big moment for Stonewall Museum every year. It's an iconic event, and I know that the community always looks forward to it. So much success.
Thank you.
Kudos to you. Lots of planning. And you're one of those heroes that stand behind the curtain that don't want to get recognized. So thank you, Robert, for all of the planning, because clearly this is not something that you can just pull out of a hat. Or maybe you can. Well, normal people can.
Thank you.
Let's welcome Jason Núñez. Jason Núñez is a trailblazing leader, passionate entrepreneur, and fierce advocate for equality. He is the CEO of Go Digital Hero, a personal virtual administrative support agent. As a third-generation minority Air Force veteran, he has served at the Pentagon, White House, State Department, and Department of Labor. Welcome to the show, Jason.
Thank you. Glad to be here. So I have a question for all of you at the table. Have any of you been mentors before? In any capacity?
Yes.
Yes.
To youth?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Awesome. So today I had the opportunity to attend an impact lunch with the Big Brothers, Big Sisters. And it was super impactful to see how many community leaders, how many nonprofit agencies are out there to support our youth, our LGBT youth, our disadvantaged youth, our underrepresented underserved communities. And one of the things that I took away from that is they currently have about 148 littles that don't have bigs. And of those, about 25% of them are from the LGBT community.
Wow.
And 75% of them are male. So one of my appeals that I left with today is always to advocate for more male mentors. Big Brothers, Big Sisters looking for more male mentors. So if anybody out there is interested in mentoring, that was one of my takeaways. Right here in Wilton Manors, we have 9 mentors with 2 littles, and then neighboring Oakland Park has 9 mentors with 40 littles, which is about 3/4 that don't have mentors. 30 mentees that don't have mentors. So we need some more in the area to step up, and leaders like yourselves in our community. It's 4 hours a month, and it's a 12-month. It's a 1-year commitment, but it's 4 hours a month. I mean, think about what you do for 4 hours in 1 month, and just to be present in the life of someone who you can literally save them from suicide or being on the streets, or just really amplifying and taking them to the next level. That would be amazing.
Queer little baby Durrell in 1980s Arkansas would have thought this was a miracle. Like, I wouldn't even thought such a thing was possible. So I'm just tingling actually with thoughts about it.
Yeah, we've done a lot of collaboration with Big Brothers and Big Sisters through Hollywood Pride, and Lisa Tuminello, who was our Trailblazer honoree this year, is part of the Big Pride program with Big Brothers, Big Sisters, and just from my work doing involvement with SunServe and the youth group and through PFLAG, we used to have a lot of interaction with some of the youth here. And it was just amazing when they would get to come down to the PFLAG meeting and kind of interact with either parents that were supporting or LGBTQ community members that were part of PFLAG, that they just really were seeking to see people that look like them that are in adulthood, and they don't get that at home. So I think it's really important to show, that generation, especially those who are seeking out there looking for that to be part of that program. So it's a very, very, very important program.
Yeah, we had a grant last year, and we had 10 interns from Big Sisters and Little Sisters. They were all Little Sisters. And they worked with us on
That's right.
the reenactment of the Stonewall Uprising.
That's right.
And they all dressed as police officers and got to arrest people, which made them very happy.
I just realized that the story that I told is even more dramatic and also sad because I was an adult in the 80s. It was the 70s. It was 70s Queer Durrell that needed this program. Oh my God.
You would have been a big.
I would have been I would have been a big.
Or a big little.
Right. So I guess now I'd be a grand big, but
Yeah.
that's so important. I'm so glad. I've known about Big Sisters, Big Brothers forever, but it never occurred to me that there was a queer focus for people that really can just be life-saving. How exciting.
Yeah, Big Brothers Big Sisters Broward is the only one in the state of Florida that has a big pride. So they're the only ones that have an organization or a part of a group that kind of focuses in on the LGBT community.
Somebody, maybe 10 somebodies are going to want to volunteer now. How exactly do they do it?
So they go to Big Brothers Big Sisters Broward website, or they can call the office and they'll get them set up.
Let's welcome anchor Jeff Oliverio. Jeff is the founder and president of the Hollywood LGBTQ+ Council and serves as co-chair for the annual My Hollywood Pride. He also serves on the Save Gala Committee. Jeff is a director and certified financial planner with Truist Wealth based in Fort Lauderdale. Welcome to the show, Jeff.
Happy to be here with all of you. Happy February.
And of course, let's welcome tonight's lead anchor, Bishop Durrell Watkins, the senior minister at Sunshine Cathedral, one of the most important LGBTQ churches in the world. He is an auxiliary bishop of the Global Justice Institute and the current president of the Divine Science Federation. Welcome to the show, Durrell. I hear you have something very queer coming up to Sunshine Cathedral. Tell me what's happening out.
Jay Rodriguez will be at Sunshine Cathedral on February 13th. Yes, that Jay Rodriguez, the culture vulture from the original Queer Eye for the Straight Guy. He's also an accomplished actor and singer and Emmy Award winner, and he will be performing at Sunshine Cathedral. Jay promises top 40 hits, Broadway songs, and all the juicy gossip you won't get anywhere else. He says there's some really hot stories to share. Tickets are available at sunshinecathedral.org/arts. I forget. I think it was maybe the first or second year of lockdown, and or maybe it was the December right before the February lockdown. I think that's how it worked. And he did a cameo for us for our Christmas Eve service, and it was just the sweetest, most. So I've been like, oh my gosh, I've got a cameo for. Well, now I'm going to be in a room. I'm going to be in the same space as Jay Rodriguez. I'm so excited, and he's here for the 13th. There's a pre-show situation in the pub where you can just hang out. That's a different ticket. The Sunshine Cathedral pub, don't go to the drive. The Sunshine Cathedral pub, then there's a show. And then after the show, there's a meet and greet with him, but that's another ticket too. But if you got all the tickets together, it would still only be $130. And you can get just so for as little as $30 and for no more than $130 per person, you get Jay Rodriguez and all the extras that can go with it. So it's a very exciting time. We get really great talent at the Performing Arts Center, and I'm as happy to have him as anyone we've ever had.
He's an amazing performer, and we've worked with him with the Task Force Gala before. He's been a host. He's been, I believe, also may have been an honoree as well. And then a couple of years ago, did a event for Save that was just amazing. That was right around the kind of get out the vote period before the election, and performed at that as well. So he uses his talent to really support the community, which I think is equally as important.
Mm-hmm. He was in The Producers on Broadway and the film, though different roles. And he was also in Rent, and the Toronto production of Rent as Angel. I mean, he's a really good actor and a really great singer. We remember him from the show, but he's been doing things for decades, and is even a co-author of a book. So it's kind of a big deal. Come see him. Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at an evening with Jay Rodriguez on February 13th at 8 p.m. or earlier if you want the full pub experience. I'm Bishop Durrell Watkins, and let's queer up the world view. Russia accused of censoring science over animals and sexuality. A Russian scientific journal editor says a book on animal sexual behavior was censored for failing to condemn same-sex behavior in animals. Victor Kovlin, editor of Batrachospermum magazine, I challenge you to say it better, Batrachospermum magazine, wrote in a recent post that his publisher demanded changes, arguing neutral references violated Russia's LGBT propaganda law. According to Kovlin, the publisher claimed the content was illegal because it did not show disgust or criticism toward homosexuality in animals. While Kovlin did not name the publisher, Novoya Gazeta reported that previous books from the journal were published by Exmo AST. Russia has expanded its LGBT propaganda laws since 2013, including a 2022 ban on most public expressions of LGBTQ plus life, and a 2023 Supreme Court ruling labeling the international LGBT social movement as extremist. Scientists note that same-sex behavior in animals is well documented. A prior study of primates found such behavior helps reduce conflict and strengthens social bonds. Study author Vincent Savalainen of Imperial College London said, quote, "What we found shows that same-sex is not like something bizarre, aberrant, or rare. It's everywhere. It's very useful. It's very important." I could have told them that. But it's true. I think it's something like in the thousands of species that this is coming, and in some of those they pair for life, they mate for life. Mm-hmm. So this is so when people talk about nature, they don't know from nature. I mean, it's just a silly, but the idea that people speaking out for themselves or just report, this isn't even about people, just reporting science, just reporting, oh look, that's what they're doing, that would have to be communicated with disgust or criticism. The nerve to call the LGBT movement propaganda, their stuff propaganda, when the definition of propaganda is no matter what science says, you have to say this. No matter what you observed, you have to say this. That's what propaganda is. And I didn't realize that a legal body like a Supreme Court could decide that the worldwide movement of something could be extremist. Aren't you the Russian Supreme Court? So the whole thing is really unsettling. And then I also remember that Russia has a long and sad history of pogroms. So it's not really ever been the haven for tolerance or inclusivity, has it?
No, it has not. And in fact, when Ukraine decriminalized homosexuality back in 1991, I believe it was, when we were doing the breakup of the Soviet Union, Russia decriminalized about the same time. Mm-hmm. And then Russia recriminalized. Mm-hmm. And last year when we did our Pride exhibit on the 55th anniversary of Pride, we had film clips of the Russian police beating the people in the parade, and then the Ukrainian police protecting the people marching in the parade and taking those who would attack them out of the parade route. So when I see that we as a nation are not backing Ukraine, we are really doing a disservice to people all over the world. But going back to animals, since that's what your story is about, remember one of the first books banned in the United States was And Tango Makes Three, which was about a penguin and his boyfriend and the egg that they jointly hatched. And that is a true story of penguins that lived at the zoo in Central Park. And people were aghast that two male penguins could raise a penguin.
But it shows that it is in nature, and that's the threat, isn't it? That it's just completely natural.
It's completely natural. It drives people absolutely crazy that it's natural, and people don't like what is out of their alignment, even if a very good percentage of those people who protest too much probably have something to protest about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just a reminder too. I think that we're not that far away from some of these. We can read this story and think how ridiculous it is, and we see these things are happening right here in our backyard.
Absolutely.
And so it's just the reminder to stay vigilant and to keep pushing back, because we could become like Russia very easily under the current movements that we have ongoing, and the anti-science, anti-culture, anti-everything administration that's out there.
In addition to this ridiculous presidential decrees, executive orders, there are honestly hundreds of proposed legislation bills in state legislatures all over the country. And so, Russia shows you what happens within a decade of this sort of thing if you don't get it in check. And you also see why books are banned, and why artists are harassed, and because art tells a story, science just shows it as it is, and so it's always the intellectuals, it's always the artists, it's always the scientists, it's always the professors that right-wing extremist governments come for first. And so it's not just about primates getting it on. It's about, if you see how normal and natural it is, then you have a defense, and that's what they can't stand.
And it's not just primates. It's mammals.
Yes.
And not just mammals.
It's not just mammals.
It's the animal kingdom.
Yeah.
But that is upsetting to people. And that is, as you both said, a big part of our failing education system.
Yeah.
I'm Robert Kesten, and let's queer up gay culture. Grindr's new AI plan could cost users $500 a month. Gay hookup app, Grindr, is trialing a new ultra premium subscription that could cost users up to $500 a month. The plan, called Edge, is currently being tested with select users in the US, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand, with prices ranging from $349.99 to $499.99. Grindr says Edge will not replace its existing Grindr Unlimited subscription, but instead sit above it. In a post on its website, Grindr announced it's becoming an AI-first company, promising, quote, a faster, smarter, more personalized app that helps you connect with less effort and makes every conversation count, unquote. Powered by GAI, Grindr's in-house AI system, Edge is embedded across the entire user experience. New features include AI-generated recaps of past conversations, daily personalized profile recommendations, and profile insights designed to highlight potential compatibility. I've never seen Grindr, but I certainly hear people talk about it. $500 a month to meet people that you can meet if you would just go outside and get off your phone seems absolutely insane to me. Having something that will remember everything you say and do and play it back when you find that perfect spouse also seems absolutely insane to me.
Unnerving.
So you're married?
Ish.
I've been married for 40 years.
25.
Divorced 4 months.
There's a great
Here's a candidate.
There's an update on
For $349.99.
But the cheap version, I don't think Jason goes for the cheap version. But it just seems to me that there are better things for our community to spend its money on. I know that's popular, at least I've heard, but I don't even know where to find it. I guess you go to an app store.
I've never seen it because I'm from before all of this. Back in my day, we just drew naughty stick figures on the wall. Somebody came along, but actually, Robert and I met in seminary. But so I don't know how. If I needed it, I have no judgment about it. I just, I'd have to have somebody show me how it works though now. But they'd have to show me. It couldn't be $500, maybe $500 for the year if there was a guarantee that I'd meet some people. But $500 a month? Oh my gosh, that just seems extravagant to me. Although I do think Edge is a wonderful name for it, and not at all too much on the nose.
I just wonder who the person is that is so busy using the AI to recap their Grindr conversations and has the funds to support that.
Right.
You could probably hire a digital assistant for $4.99 a month and have that live person maybe read you your Grindr recaps. And I like how they say like it with less effort. From my friends who are using Grindr, and say that they're used to getting one-word answers back from people. I can't imagine any less effort going into a hookup app than needing an AI to actually help you have less effort to meet someone. So I don't know who this is aimed at and what the market research is on it, but good luck to Grindr for selling
But I guess if you're spending $500 a month, you're going to say more than that one word.
I guess Grindr will make you eloquent.
Exactly.
I would need like the Betamax version of like this, like so obsolete, but I could afford it. Otherwise, I don't know.
I'm Jason Núñez, and let's queer up sports. Team LGBTQ+ shines with historic Olympic wins. The 2026 Winter Olympics are off to a flying start for Team LGBTQ+, with 2 queer athletes already claiming gold medals. Sunday, February 8th, delivered a historic moment when American skier Breezy Johnson won the women's downhill alpine skiing race. The victory made the bisexual athlete the first out queer competitor to win gold at the 2026 Winter Olympics. Later that same day, pansexual figure skater Amber Glenn captured gold in her Olympic debut during the team figure skating event, adding to the celebrations for LGBTQ+ sports fans worldwide. This year's games feature a record-breaking 41 out LGBTQ+ athletes from 13 countries. Queer sports media brand Outsports is tracking performances through its Team LGBTQ+ campaign. Despite her win, Glenn told USA Today she initially felt disappointed with part of her performance, citing soreness and the need for recovery. That recovery ultimately helped secure gold for Team USA and Team LGBTQ+. Johnson, meanwhile, embraced the challenge, saying, quote, "I knew I had to push. I just hoped it would be enough," end quote. More history is expected this week as Swedish skier Ellis Lundholm becomes the first trans man to compete in the Winter Games. Well, isn't that great? We're on the global stage. We're on the global stage where a bi, a pansexual, and a trans man are winning the top tier in these global sporting events.
It's a light. In a very dim time, this is a bright light.
I'm excited, a little jealous of the skier because, her being bold bi and getting a gold medal, she's really greedy.
She wants everything.
She wants everything.
Representation is so important, though. This is a big deal. That especially right now, we're trying to be erased and silenced. People are being seen and heard. It's very important.
Yeah, while states are trying to ban, trans folks into sports, women in men's sports, men in women's sports, and then here we are, like literally
Olympic level
sports, and we're complaining about a high school team. So
yeah,
or children's soccer.
Children's soccer.
I'm Jeff Oliverio, and let's queer up the USA view. Human Rights Watch warns U.S. is fueling global rights crisis. A new report from the Human Rights Watch warns the United States is undermining LGBTQ+ and broader human rights worldwide, calling the second Trump administration a period of, quote, blatant disregard for human rights and egregious violations, end quote. The findings come from World Report 2026, which reviews global human rights conditions throughout 2025. In the report's introduction, Philippe Bolopoin states the global human rights system is in peril, adding that pressure from the U.S. alongside China and Russia is crushing the rules-based international order. He writes that 2025 may be seen as a tipping point. Bolopoin details what he calls a sweeping assault on U.S. democracy, citing attacks on judicial independence, voting norms, healthcare access, women's rights, free speech, and protections for trans and intersex people. The report says queer people, especially transgender communities, have faced intensified targeting. It notes executive orders declaring there are only two sexes, banning trans military service, restricting gender-affirming care for youth, and barring trans women and girls from female sports. Human Rights Watch also highlights state-level actions, warning that bans on care, school restrictions, and the absence of comprehensive federal protections continue to harm LGBTQ+ Americans while weakening U.S. credibility on human rights worldwide. Again, there's nothing new that this story highlights, except it's not good company that we're in with Russia and China on human rights. To ever have imagined, if you could have said 8 years ago that the United States would be mentioned in that category is just shocking. And in a decade that we've fallen so far to be cited in a report. And that doesn't include, travel bans, warning people to come to our country, warning people to come to our state, Florida, but warning people to come to our country for fear of their safety. The lack of, as they said, credibility on the world stage where, here we are trying to, fight for freedom in other countries when we're restricting freedom for our own citizens. So it's a sad moment for the United States.
Well, a couple of years ago was the 75th anniversary of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And we did a program commemorating that 75th anniversary at FAU. And we were giving an award to a woman who was in a detention camp in Africa. And we couldn't get a visa for her to come here. And so for these years, 5 years, 7 years, she's been moved from one camp to another. She ended up in South Sudan, not a safe place for LGBTQ people. But they moved them out of Kenya because Kenya became so dangerous. And now she just notified me last week that she's made it to Canada. None of them are coming to the United States. Canada has opened its doors. So Canada has become really one of the leading places on earth for human rights. And the United States has fallen and fallen and fallen. So even people who are coming for professional conferences and whatnot can't get into the United States, and yet Canada is taking in new citizens on a regular basis and giving people the opportunity of a lifetime to live as free people.
But if you're part of the old apartheid club in South Africa, you can just come in right in on a red carpet.
And get money.
But meanwhile, people who are desperate to find some safety, they're being denied, which is just cruel, of course. But also, this is what's most disturbing about me. We've never been the shining city on the hill that Reagan. That was always visionary. That was always what we could be, what we're moving toward, what's possible, what we've had a little glimpse of, moments of. But this is the same country though that had slavery and Jim Crow and incarcerating Japanese Americans and not letting women vote until well into the 20th century and so this is we've always had to fight to be better, and we've always put the spin on it that what we're becoming is what we really are. What we want to be is what we're becoming, and what we're becoming is what we really are deep down. This blows that myth out of the water. Because now we can't say, well, at least we made some progress and we're still moving toward the goal. We've made some progress. We got a few steps back, and now we're making progress again. That's been the whole 250 years until now. And now it seems like we don't even value the goal anymore. We don't even value the myth, the hope, the possibility anymore. And that's what's scary to me, is that, yeah, we're getting there way too slow, but we still have our eyes on the goal. The goal has been blown the hell up. And that's what I think is very heartbreaking and scary.
I would disagree with you. I think that truly the majority of Americans still hold those dreams to be true. I think that it's unfortunate that the people in power are suppressing it, but people crave freedom, and ultimately people will fight back. I don't know how many years, months, days, or generations, but I do believe that unbridled love of individualism, freedom, and community will win out in the end. It's just that we have to go through, unfortunately, this very painful time. And the reason I say that is I've worked all over the world on this particular issue and have faced off a lot of people with guns in different places, and still they're willing to risk everything in order to get there. And I think that at some point Americans will be willing to risk something too.
I hope so. On the side of, if the empire and the resistance or whatever, they're pretty evenly matched. There's this what tips the balance are the people of apathy, and if they would just show up and vote, this could have been fixed forever ago. Could be fixed in November. So there's good people and there's bad people in the world, but the people who don't care one way or the other, they're killing us. So please, pick a side and get involved, vote. I'm Bishop Durrell Watkins, and let's queer up politics. A GOP governor blocks anti-trans bill in New Hampshire. In a surprising move, Republican New Hampshire Governor Kelly Ayotte has vetoed a GOP-backed anti-transgender bill, dealing a major blow to efforts targeting trans rights in the state. The bill, SB 268, aimed to weaken New Hampshire's 2018 non-discrimination law by restricting where transgender people could use restrooms, access facilities, or participate in sports. Critics warned that the proposal was vague, unenforceable, and encouraged discrimination. Governor Ayotte said, quote, "I vetoed a nearly identical bill to this one last year. I made it clear this issue needed to be addressed through a thoughtful, narrow way that protects the privacy, safety, and rights of all Granite staters," end quote. Overriding the veto appears unlikely. While Republicans may have the numbers in the Senate, they fall short of the 2/3 majority required in the House. Queer advocates applaud the decision. Amy Teravecchia of 603 Equality called it, quote, "a huge relief for every transgender or gender nonconforming person in New Hampshire," end quote. Leaders from NH Outright and Glad Law echoed that praise, saying the veto protects dignity, safety, and equal access for all Granite staters. Good for her. More of that, please. More, bipartisan, independent, just everyone trying to do what's right. That would be great. But it continues to be unnerving, although this has been the reality for my entire 59 years so far, that our lives can be changed like that with an executive order, a Supreme Court ruling, an election, a local election, that our existence, our rights, our dignity get to be voted on or ruled on in court or ordered away by one person. And so that's problematic. So the fight continues, and it looks like we've been losing the fight lately, but I think we're going to gain ground again because I just don't think that level of cruelty is sustainable forever. And so I'm glad she is showing that, there shouldn't be one party of compassion and the other party of, we should all care about people and try to do what's right. So I applaud her, and I hope a lot of people follow her lead.
It just takes one state for them to start the ripple effect. And hopefully she starts that movement, like other GOPers, see that she's willing to take the step, and she didn't die. So
right. That's a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that she's the beacon of taking sides. She's one of the flag in the wind, looking for where the votes are. I mean, she endorsed Trump. She didn't endorse Trump. She was for she voted for same-sex benefits when she was in Congress, and she's gone back and forth on issues. So again, let's hold her up as what she did as a positive. And obviously that's the best we're going to get out of the Republican Party in many cases, is someone who kind of sort of sides with us. So, well,
she's got
kudos to you, Governor Ayotte.
This time. Yeah. She's got a neighbor in Maine that's even a little bit more frustrating to me, who says almost all the right things all the time and then always votes wrongly. And then says, but I didn't think it would go the way it went. I won't say the senator's name. Yeah. But there is a lot of that where you think they're going to step up and then, somehow they don't. Or they do this time but not next time. But this time she did. Yay. Do it again. Keep that up.
And it's important that people congratulate her and thank her, because that also helps when they know that the wind is behind them, pushing them forward, and that all the stuff that comes flying in their face for doing these things isn't the only thing they hear and see.
Yeah. A conscience and courage. Those are good things. But the truth is, we also need encouragement sometimes. So please do more of that. And other people join her in doing that sometimes. Maybe all the time. LGBTQ 1 Minute News. Let's queer up gay culture. Hotspots magazine highlights South Florida Pride Youth Band. Our Hotspots Happening Out LGBTQ lifestyle magazine, Hotspots, is back with a feature on the South Florida Pride Youth Band, a powerful program uniting more than 80 students from across South Florida through music, mentorship, and inclusion. Founded during the It Gets Better movement, the band creates a safe space for queer youth while celebrating diversity on stage. This feature story and many more are included in your free copy of the upcoming issue of Hotspots magazine on stands this Thursday, February the 12th. This is amazing. Again, I wish we had these sort of youthful, encouraging programs when I was young, but I'm glad we have them now, because that to just have a sense of yourself, to know you're not alone, to be encouraged for who you are, and then to discover your own talents and share them without having to hide anything else. How amazing. And so bless this program, and let's have more of them all over.
Kudos to Hotspots Happening Out as well for highlighting this story.
Yeah.
You know, they're our future, the youth. I've always said the youth are our future. We built the table, we're sitting at it, who's going to come in after us? And whether it's through music, the arts, we're a very talented community. Very talented, very creative. That's what they used to call me, creative. Then I found out they meant that I was gay. But so, talented, creative community. I'm excited to see the youth band this summer and all the different prides and events that they're going to be playing at.
Yeah, they're a great addition to a lot of events, so I think it's a good commercial for them to reach out and have them perform, especially we have so many amazing LGBTQ events here. This is a great resource for the community.
I played in bands in junior high and high school and even community bands way back when. And it was amazing. It was just amazing. We'd be making art and be with people and be part of a club, part of a group, blah, blah, blah. What if they'd all been queer? You know what I mean? Like, it was amazing the way it was. Like, I'm so excited about this. So whenever you see them out, give them a big old shout of support.
LGBTQ 1 Minute News. Let's queer up entertainment. Bad Bunny makes history. Trump throws a tantrum. Bad Bunny made an iconic Super Bowl moment by becoming the first Latin American artist to headline the Apple Music halftime show, performing almost entirely in Spanish, joined by Pedro Pascal, Lady Gaga, Ricky Martin, and Puerto Rican Pride. The set was widely praised as historic and joyful, but Donald Trump hated it. On Truth Social, Trump called the show disgusting and one of the worst ever. Nobody understands a word the guy is saying, end quote. Critics disagreed. The Guardian gave it 5 stars, and fans called it beautiful and top tier. I don't really care what Donald Trump says. I sort of wish people would stop referring to what he says. It is exactly why he says it, because then people report on it as him being a tastemaker. I don't know. It's irrelevant. The fact is that this was inclusive, inviting, introduced the United States of America to another culture that many Americans are not at all exposed to because of where they live. And that is exactly what makes this country something to envy all over the world, is that something like that could be on the biggest stage of the biggest news program, the biggest entertainment program, the biggest sports program anywhere in the world, other than maybe FIFA. And kudos to NBC for doing it, and to the NFL for making it happen, and for Bad Bunny to not being a psycho bunny.
Right. I love that Bad Bunny is such a good person, that he did what they're trying to keep from happening. They don't want information. They don't want history. They don't want culture. They want all of that band, all these books. And he told the story anyway. That's what's infuriating. That he told the story of how Puerto Rico was neglected after the hurricane just by climbing up a pole. He reminded people that Puerto Ricans are Americans, that is American territory. And if they're on the mainland, they can vote. And they have a delegate to Congress.
No, they can vote. They vote for president in Puerto Rico.
Do they?
They do.
That's amazinger than I knew. See, you learned something on this show too. But that it was, they have a delegate, they have representation, they are part of this country. And for people to act like they don't, and to say that no one, 59 million people speak Spanish in this country, not to mention the rest of the world. And the first European language ever spoken in this country was Spanish. So,
well, the first European language.
So the thing about it all is that that's what they hate. They hate that what they try to keep a lid on, he just let out. And it's all to celebrate. This is good, and it does what artists do, what clowns do, what comics do, what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to tell the story, and he did it so beautifully.
And push the envelope.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. He says no one understands what Bad Bunny says. I wonder if he asked Marco Rubio, I believe speaks Spanish. And
does, for sure.
you know, the thing I think Donald Trump hates the most is that Bad Bunny is a self-made person, and Donald Trump will never be that. So kudos to Bad Bunny for in 10 years going from being a bagger at a grocery store to being at the top of the game in the entertainment world.
See you there.
And it's a pretty amazing story. It's what we used to call the American dream.
And we can still call it that
Yes.
because he's an American.
Exactly.
And it's also a dog whistle. He knows it was a great, it was a great show, but that's a racist dog whistle to let people know that they can, say hateful things, and which is also what he's trying to communicate. So yeah, bad president, great Bunny.
LGBTQ 1 Minute News. Let's queer up the USA view. Table has turned. Border Patrol boss shown the door at Las Vegas bar. U.S. Border Patrol may be known for kicking people out, but this time the tables turned. Just days after President Donald Trump removed Gregory Bavino from his role amid backlash over aggressive deportation policies, Bavino was asked to leave a Las Vegas sports bar. The former Border Patrol commander-at-large was spotted drinking wine at Bottled Blonde on the Las Vegas Strip, before staff escorted him out over safety concerns. On social media, backlash followed. A post on Twitter said, quote, "This is Greg Bavino partying it up in Las Vegas after he ran the operation in Minnesota that ending the lives of at least 2 Americans and getting booted out of the state and his job. People there made sure he knew they were there watching him," end quote. I'm typically one to not like social media, but this is a great story because karma's a bitch. And I also find it interesting that he was in charge of securing spaces and getting rid of the riffraff, and he was the riffraff.
He was the riffraff.
He was the riffraff.
To be the riffraff at a place called Bottled Blonde is the lowest form of being removed from a bar. But anyways, I'm sure it's a beautiful establishment.
And I'm sure it was boxed wine.
Oh, it had to be. It was room temperature. It was white wine at room temperature.
LGBTQ 1 Minute News. Let's queer up entertainment. Jimpa arrives in the U.S. theaters with a timely story of queer family. Jimpa, a queer family drama from director Sophie Hyde, arrived in limited U.S. theaters on February the 6th, 1 year after premiering at the Sundance Film Festival. Inspired by Hyde's own family, the film follows a mother, played by Olivia Colman, who travels with her non-binary child to Amsterdam to visit the child's gay grandfather, portrayed by John Lithgow. As debates around trans youth intensified in 2026, the film's focus on acceptance, chosen family, and community has taken on renewed cultural and political relevance for LGBTQ audiences. Yeah, I don't think we can tell enough queer stories in television, movies. Watch these stories, support Outshine Film Festival that shows all of our queer stories, because again, they are being limited, erased, they're taken off the air. And so anywhere that they're shown, show them your dollars and show them your support. And Olivia Colman's great.
Yes, I would vote for Olivia for whatever. Goddess, Queen of the Universe, whatever. She is one of my favorite actors of all time. LGBTQ 1 Minute News. Let's queer up gay culture. Pentatonix star Scott Hoying shares baby news. 2026 continues to be a landmark year for queer visibility as Pentatonix member Scott Hoying and his husband Mark Hoying prepare to welcome their first child. The couple's musical gender reveal video went viral, earning nearly 7 million Instagram views and widespread support. While attending the Grammy Awards in 2026, the Hoyings revealed their child is due in June, aligning her arrival with Pride Month. That is so fabulous. The two dads are having a girl, and it's going to happen in a Pride Month, and that's the angels right there. That's the universe and the angels and the ancestors just all smiling on us right there. I love that so much.
That's some planning. It sounds very gay. All right, we want them born in June, so let's back up 9 when we start the surrogacy process. And so
that's the way we do it.
That's the way we do it.
Good to end with good, positive stories.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
We need more of those.
That is a beautiful one. These are today's headlines from Queer News Tonight. Our anchors represent the best of our LGBTQ family.
If our community is important to you, share this news with your friends and family. Don't forget to join the conversation on your favorite streaming platform.
Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ digital television show in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines. We need your support. If our community is to grow and then thrive, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world.
This is the only place in the world that tells these types of LGBTQ stories in motion and sound. That is the passion of Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television Network, and Queer News Tonight.
I'm your anchor, Bishop Durrell Watkins, and I thank you for joining us on behalf of my fellow LGBTQ anchors here at Queer News Tonight. Robert Kesten, Jason Núñez, and Jeff Oliverio. We'll see you daily at 8 p.m. To our LGBTQ+ world, we wish you a good night.
Good night.